Hey Lakers fans, let's dive straight into some exciting updates. We're just a few weeks away from that pivotal December 15th mark, and if history tells us anything, this is a date that could reshape the roster entirely. You see, most of the contracts and extensions that were signed during the offseason or recently get unlocked around mid-December, meaning a large portion of players the Lakers have had their eyes on could suddenly be available. This is the window where strategic trades start to happen, giving the front office a chance to address specific needs, tweak rotations, and set up for the push toward the trade deadline in February. Historically, the Lakers have often used this timing to make those early, decisive moves. Think of players like Dorian Finney-Smith or Rui Hachimura. Moves like these often happen in late December or early January, allowing the team to assess how these additions fit in before the real heat of the trade season kicks in. From that perspective, December 15th isn't just another date. It's a kind of unofficial checkpoint for Rob Pelinka and the Lakers front office to evaluate and act. Now, with the team slowly reaching full health, this is the first real opportunity to see what the roster can accomplish when everyone is available. This year feels different from some past seasons because the Lakers actually have genuine depth. There were years when the discussion was about which players not to play, but now it's the opposite. You have arguments for starting multiple combinations alongside LeBron James, Austin Reeves, and DeAndre Ayton. This is a good problem to have, but it also creates a puzzle for the coaching staff. Minutes have to be distributed carefully. Players who might have flourished when others were injured now have to earn their time in a crowded rotation. It becomes a game of balance, figuring out which five-man lineups maximize the strengths of the roster while keeping everyone engaged. REDICK and the coaching team will need to experiment, creating multiple units around the primary stars, Austin Reeves, LeBron James, and Oscar Rivas, and finding the combinations that work best against different opponents. Some nights, certain players might see limited time because someone else is excelling in that role. For instance, if Jake LaRavia is having a hot streak, it might mean less playing time for Rui Hachimura or Jared Vanderbilt. Conversely, when LaRavia struggles, those same players can step up and fill the gap. This is where versatility and adaptability become critical. The Lakers will have to constantly evaluate the chemistry between these players. Austin Reeves, for example, thrives when paired with DeAndre Ayton, Jake LaRavia, and LeBron James. But that leaves the question of the fifth man in the rotation. Could it be Gabe Vincent, Rui Hachimura, or someone else entirely? The same applies to Oscar Rivas, who complement him most effectively alongside Marcus Smart or Rui Hachimura. The coaching staff must figure out these combinations through observation, experimentation, and in-game adjustments. This evaluation process is not only about winning the upcoming games, but also about establishing a sustainable rotation that can carry the team deep into the playoffs. The front office also has to consider these developments when deciding potential trades. Rob Pelinka has to evaluate which players are crucial, which are expendable, and which roles are replaceable. While technically no player is completely untouchable, certain players' value might make them untouchable in practice. For instance, someone like Jared Vanderbilt may have limited minutes due to offensive limitations, but if his role can be optimized off the bench, he could become an essential component rather than a trade piece. Meanwhile, the team will observe breakout performances from players who could influence trade priorities. Imagine if Gabe Vincent suddenly hits his stride, shooting at an elite rate from three-point range, while also contributing defensively. Would the Lakers even consider moving him, or would trade shift toward other areas? These are the kinds of questions the front office will need to answer in the coming weeks. Adding to this is the upcoming schedule, which is relatively favorable for the Lakers. This stretch provides a chance to build momentum and see how the team performs under various conditions. Winning streaks are encouraging, but they can also mask areas that need improvement. It's crucial that the coaching staff and front office don't get complacent, even if the team strings together a series of victories. The goal isn't just to look strong now, but to identify gaps that could be addressed before the playoffs. Even a team with championship-caliber talent can stumble without the right depth, rotations, and role players. This period leading into mid-December will serve as the laboratory for testing the team's mettle, both on and off the court. The Lakers already have a roster capable of winning a championship in its current state, with LeBron James, Austin Reeves, and Luka Oscar Rivas forming a solid core. The question is how to optimize surrounding talent to improve the odds even further. Ideally, trades would bring in high-impact players who address specific weaknesses, whether that's perimeter defense, shooting, or secondary playmaking. But even if the team doesn't acquire a star, incremental additions like Kean Ellis or Haywood Highsmith could provide the versatility and defensive intensity the Lakers need. These types of moves allow the team to distribute responsibility more evenly and ensure that every player understands their role in both offensive and defensive schemes. As we approach December 15th, it becomes clear that the next few weeks are all about experimentation, assessment, and preparation. The coaching staff needs to determine the optimal rotations, front office decisions need to reflect the realities of the roster, and players need to step into roles where they can thrive. This period is crucial for identifying breakout performers, evaluating bench depth, and making informed decisions that could define the Lakers season. It's a combination of strategy, timing, and opportunity, and the stakes are as high as ever. Every minute on the court and every game leading up to this date carries implications for how the team will approach the trade market, manage player rotations, and set itself up for a deep playoff run. The next 3 weeks are essentially a countdown to a point where decisions must be made intelligently, based on a clear understanding of both strengths and weaknesses, and this evaluation will ultimately shape the Lakers' path to contention. Moving forward, the Lakers' ability to adapt during this period will be crucial because the challenges aren't just about player evaluation. They're also about the larger strategy and timing of the roster. The team is entering a phase where consistency and flexibility must coexist. Every night, the coaching staff will face different lineups and rotations depending on matchups, injuries, and in-game performance. For instance, a night where Austin Reeves, LeBron James, and DeAndre Ayton are performing at their peak might allow for certain bench players to take on lighter roles, preserving energy and focus. But on nights where someone struggles or a matchup proves difficult, other players must be ready to step up and fill the gaps seamlessly. This constant balancing act tests not only talent, but also preparation, communication, and resilience. The rotation decisions also influence how trades might be approached. If a player like Jake LaRavia continues to elevate his game, it could shift the priorities in the front office. Suddenly, someone previously considered essential might become less critical, while other needs become more urgent. Perhaps the Lakers can hold on to Rui Hachimura or Jared Vanderbilt because their contributions, while inconsistent, are manageable within the right framework. But if emerging players perform beyond expectations, the calculus changes entirely. It's a dynamic environment, and mid-December will be the first time the Lakers have a full sample size with a healthy roster to make these judgments. Evaluating which players can sustain high-level performance, which lineups create synergy, and which trades are necessary for championship contention will all happen simultaneously. What makes this period even more critical is how it intersects with the schedule. The Lakers have a stretch that could either highlight their strengths or expose weaknesses depending on performance and health. Wins are valuable, of course, but they shouldn't lull the team into complacency. A long winning streak, while impressive, can sometimes hide inefficiencies in rotations, defensive schemes, or role player production. Rob Pelinka and the coaching staff will need to remain vigilant, assessing not only who is performing well, but also which areas require reinforcement. This is particularly true given that teams in the East, with the exception of Detroit, haven't been consistently dominant, making every matchup an opportunity to test depth, rotations, and chemistry. A successful run during this period can build momentum and confidence, but the real test will be in ensuring that the team is prepared for the physical and tactical challenges of the postseason. From a strategic perspective, the Lakers have options. They can pursue high-end players to fill specific needs, someone with defensive versatility, elite shooting, or the ability to create their own shot. But even if a marquee trade isn't possible, incremental moves can still strengthen the team significantly. Adding role players like Kean Ellis or Haywood Highsmith can enhance flexibility, create multiple reliable defensive options, and allow the Stars to focus on their primary responsibilities. These types of strategic additions often fly under the radar, but can be critical in the playoffs, where depth and matchup adaptability become as important as talent. The Lakers must weigh the potential impact of such players against the opportunity cost of trading more prominent pieces, which is a careful balancing act that requires patience, foresight, and a clear understanding of team dynamics. During this time, another key factor is the emergence of players within the current roster. Breakout performances can redefine rotations and trade considerations. Gabe Vincent, for instance, might begin hitting three-pointers at an elite rate while maintaining defensive intensity, which could make him indispensable. Similarly, if Jake LaRavia or another young contributor demonstrates consistent growth, it could shift priorities for the front office. The team must remain open to letting talent develop naturally, while also being ready to act if a trade opportunity arises that addresses a more pressing need. Every game and every practice carries significance, as these performances inform not only playing time decisions, but also broader strategic moves. The Lakers also face a test of resilience and adaptability. Players must adjust to evolving roles, new rotations, and the pressures of performing within a stacked roster. Austin Reeves, LeBron James, and Luka Oscar-Rivas are the primary pillars, but the success of the season depends on everyone else finding their place and excelling in it. Minutes, roles, and responsibilities will fluctuate based on performance, matchups, and health, and players who can embrace these changes will be the ones who have the most significant impact. The coaching staff's ability to manage these shifts effectively will directly influence the team's success. Understanding how to deploy players for maximum efficiency, how to rotate them without disrupting rhythm, and how to maintain energy and focus throughout the season is a challenge that requires both insight and experience. Mid-December, then, becomes more than just a marker for potential trades. It represents the culmination of evaluation, experimentation, and preparation. By this point, the Lakers will have a clearer picture of which lineups are most effective, which players are rising to the occasion, and where strategic reinforcement are necessary. Rob Pelinka and the coaching staff will need to synthesize this information quickly and make decisions that balance short-term performance with long-term championship goals. This period isn't just about reacting. It's about proactive management, ensuring that the team is positioned to capitalize on its strengths while addressing any weaknesses before the postseason. In addition, the competitive landscape in the league adds another layer of urgency. While some teams in the East have been inconsistent, others like Detroit have emerged as genuine threats, making the need for precise roster management all the more important. The Lakers must leverage this window to solidify rotations, maximize player contributions, and ensure readiness for high-stakes matchups. The upcoming weeks will test the organization's ability to identify which players are truly essential, which roles can be filled by emerging talent, and how trades can strategically enhance the team's championship potential. Each decision made in this period carries consequences that will ripple through the remainder of the season, from regular season performance to playoff matchups. Before we continue, we ask that you leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any exclusive Lakers updates. Moving on, whispers are swirling around Los Angeles as the Lakers' front office shakes the foundations of the franchise once again. In a shocking move, Jeanie has reportedly decided to part ways with head coach REDICK, sending tremors through the NBA community. Sources close to the organization suggest that this decision did not come lightly, but rather as a response to mounting pressure and an urgent demand for immediate results. The phrase, "turn around now," is reportedly echoing through the halls of the Lakers' practice facility, hinting that Buss is unwilling to wait for gradual progress. Inside insiders claim the atmosphere in the Lakers' locker room has been tense for weeks. Players are said to be caught between loyalty to REDICK and the need to adapt to a new strategic vision that the front office appears to be pursuing with intensity. Some voices hint that the timing of this decision is connected to the high stakes surrounding the franchise's ambitions this season. It seems Buss is sending a clear signal. Mediocrity will not be tolerated, and the golden era of Lakers glory is to be reclaimed without delay. The move has ignited a flurry of speculation regarding potential replacements. Rumors range from seasoned veterans with championship pedigree to rising coaching stars who could bring fresh energy and a modern approach to a storied franchise. Pundits are already debating how quickly a new coach could implement changes and whether the locker room will respond positively to a sudden shift in leadership. Analysts are pointing to the Lakers' history of dramatic mid-season shakeups as a cautionary tale, noting that such bold moves can either galvanize a team or deepen its struggles. Meanwhile, social media has exploded with reactions from fans, former players, and basketball insiders. Hashtags calling for instant turnaround and speculation about who will wear the Lakers' coaching hat next are trending nationwide. Even without official confirmation of the successor, the narrative is clear. Jeanie Buss is making a statement. The Lakers are in a state of high alert, and the basketball world is watching closely, waiting to see how this bold gamble will unfold. If history has taught us anything, in Los Angeles, the drama off the court can be as compelling as the action on it. Stay informed exclusively about Los Angeles Lakers news. Subscribe to our channel and hit the like button to keep receiving daily updates. Also, share your opinion on the news in the comments, as your contribution is crucial for the Lakers. Stay tuned for the next video.